Hey guys, it's Rachel Youngson here with useplr.com and wholefoodplr.com. We're here with our weekly PLR Power Hour, and this is actually a very special Power Hour because with everything going on in the world and kind of just with summer coming up and taking care of business, so to speak, I have to do a little bit of flipping in my routine and in my practices. So we're going to be suspending the Power Hours. Not suspending the way that we support the community. I'm not suspending any of the, approachableness that I try to have in this community, where if you have a question, you can say, hey, Rach, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. All of that's going to stay the same. But it's the, for lack of better words, because I'm not going to say this right, but it's the being boxed into a time schedule that's kind of a sticking point for me right now. So thought about changing the time, but then that just keeps me boxed into some type of time schedule. And I need to revamp some stuff, and a lot of stuff's going on the back end. So in light of that, we're going to be changing things up, as they say. So this is a very special Power Hour. I'm really excited to have everybody here. And this is kind of a wrap everything up situation. It's a make sure everybody has an input in what happens now. Make sure that everyone gets the chance to talk about their business if they want to, questions that they have, oh my gosh, what are you doing to us? Any of that stuff. Make sure that we all have a chance to kind of put it all on the table, so to speak. And if you're listening to our replay and you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments of the replay because I will answer them. Okay, so we've got a lot of our regular folks here, so it's good to see everybody today. I did want to let everyone know while we're getting started that in the spirit of giving a shout out to my service providers, I do have two wonderful service providers here today. One is Shannon Smith from Appetite for Design. She does most of my graphics for me. She's a really great graphics gal. One thing that I really love and admire about Shannon's work is if it's not right, she always makes it right for me, because the graphics can be kind of funny. Sometimes you have something in your head and it's very hard to put it out there and tell somebody this is what I'm envisioning. But with Shannon, it's easy because you know that if you don't express it right and something gets lost in translation, she'll do her best to make sure it's better for you. The second one is our very own Charlene Burke from Search by Burke, who I talk about all the time because she's kind of one of my besties online. But anyway, she's great. She's a great lady. So Charlene, she does email, she does writing, she does, do you still do your mentorship group, Charlene? No, okay. But she does email, she does writing, she's a great service provider. Sometimes she runs specials, and I always tell my clients, get into her specials if you know she's running one, because I pay 3 figures for something that you're likely going to pay much less for. So she's a great lady, and we're going to have her information in the show notes as well. All that being said, okay, so the first thing that I wanted to address today is for those of you who don't know, I do my notes as we go. So anyway, the first thing I wanted to address today is what's going on with the Facebook ad series. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew I do currently have a Facebook ad running. For those who aren't aware, what we've been doing recently with the whole thing that shall not be named, that's brought everybody into like an upheaval and kind of slowed down a lot of sales for a lot of our clients. One thing that I've done is started to blog more and encouraged others in the group to blog more. And we've kind of gone through this journey where my goal was to show them, okay, look, you can blog, you can turn the blog into something else, and then you can turn that into a lead magnet. And then now you have different ways to reach somebody. You've repurposed content, you've given something away for free, but it's also going to be able to be used by you long term. And if you give it away as a lead magnet, then that then opens you up to, of course, back end emails and promotions and having a customer that you can then turn into a paying customer. So we've kind of gone through that journey, and part of that journey was after we created everything to monetize it with Facebook ads. Facebook ads are a beast. I'm just going to throw that out there. Sometimes my regulars know, sometimes I just throw something out there and then I figure out how to do it after I say it. Some would say I stick my foot in my mouth, but I get so excited when serving the community that I just do it, you know. Hey, Audrey, good to see you today, my friend. So Facebook ads is a great way to monetize everything, but the process as far as how slow it is for me to get the true results that I want to get for you, and to really kind of be able to do a deep dive checklist so that you don't have any questions, and you know, you kind of feel like this is great, I can just throw this into my process if you choose to. That's gonna take a little bit of time. So the ad's running until next Thursday, the 2nd. But my pup is having surgery that day. So between that and the 4th, I'm anticipating the checklist going out on the following Monday, which I guess is the 6th, somewhere around there. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, always feel free to ask me any questions. We do have 2 previous ads trainings, or 3 in the group, but as most of you know, I really like to kind of come full circle and make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful in whatever journey we're taking. So that's what's going on with that. And like I said, feel free to send me questions or comments or whatever you need in regards to that. And if I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'll find out for you. The next thing that I know some people have on their minds is what the heck is gonna happen now? Real quick though, before yeah, Greg says definitely. Real quick before I get into that, Joan says, poor pup prayers. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. As a fur mom, I'm gonna do this first. Yeah, she's our rescue dog. Some know that we rescued an older girl a couple years ago. She loves everyone in the house except for me. I mean, she tolerates me, don't get me wrong, and she like lets me do the medicine and the unfun things, but I'm not her favorite. In fact, the joke in our house is that I'm like, she calls my husband, hey dad, and my son, hey Drew, and me, oh, number 3, it's you. Because she literally could just care less. Like, other people leave and they come back and she acts like they've been gone for decades. You know, I leave, I come back, I go away for days, and she's just like, oh, hey, look, you're back. But anyway, she had sudden retinal detachment a couple of years, or no, I'm sorry, I guess last year. And they didn't really know, that's why they call it sudden, because they didn't really know why it happened. But what happened after that was pressure started building up behind her eyes. So we've tried to manage it with medication, all that other fun stuff, but they're going to go ahead and, you know, just take out the problem, just remove them next week and get her fixed up that way, because the goal being, of course, that the pressure will be relieved so she won't have the pain that she's dealing with. So, but anyway, where we're going from here, sorry, you guys know I just had to do that. I'm a chatterbox. But anyway, where we're going from here, lots of cool stuff, actually. You know, one of the big things that I've been trying to do is find a way to keep the engagement, keep the community, keep the feeling that I know you and you know me, and you know, I'm not just this isn't like some faceless Facebook group that you're in where, you know, you might know who runs it, but you don't really know who runs it. Or, you know, when you buy a product from me, it's like you might know that you're buying a product from me, but you don't really know who I am or what kind of service you're going to get after that product is delivered or anything like that. So I want to keep all of that good stuff, but in a different way. So one of the ways we're going to be doing that is I will be taking advantage of Facebook Lives because it gives me the freedom to do it whenever I have something to say, whenever I can, whenever you know, just whenever. I do want to give a shout out to Charlene because she did give me the idea for Facebook Lives a few months ago. We were talking about something totally different. We will also be doing impromptu co-working sessions, which means that if I have, if I'm caught up on everything, maybe things are running pretty smoothly, it's a Monday, I might say, hey, Wednesday, let's do a co-working session. I don't anticipate ever waking up one morning and saying, hey guys, you know, in a couple of hours, this is going to happen. I always want to give everyone a little bit of leeway, but it's not going to be like a regularly scheduled thing. It's going to be more of, let's see where everything goes. Also, we will still be doing our blogging Thursdays. So if you have a blog, if you blog at all, we're going to be putting those into our Blogging Thursdays posts, and those will still be going out into our emails so that you get a little bit more traction to your blog, hopefully. I always encourage, if you see a blog that is related to your own niche, you try to link up with that person in some way, shape, or form, because it all goes back to when you're ready for affiliates, they'll promote you, you'll promote them. You know, maybe you guys can go together on a bigger project, or at the very least share your communities. So we'll still be doing that. Tuesdays, we're going to start doing a shout out what you want type of thread. So if you have a new product that you've launched, you can post a link to that. If you have a, let's say you just got set up on Instagram and you want Instagram followers, you can post a link to that. If you just want to post your website, you can post that. If you want to promote a service provider special that you're running, you can post that. So we'll be doing threads every Tuesday for that, and just keep an eye out. And of course, that's going to be more lenient with dropping the links than we are when we post our questions and such. We're still going to have the expert guests. So for instance, many of you know Charlene was one of our expert guests a few months, I'd say like 5 or 6 months ago. And when we have expert guests, they have something to teach the group. They have something really awesome to share with us. And we're still going to be doing that. If I come across someone who has something really great, a great message, and they want to share it with the group, or if it's someone who's already talked to us about something and I know that they're valuable, a valuable resource for you to learn from, we may touch base again and say, hey, can you come update this? Can you come talk to us again about this? So that's still going to happen. It's going to be kind of like the co-working sessions, where it's not going to happen on a regular schedule, but it will happen. And when it happens, you will get notice for that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that. So let's do a gift. Let's see, we have 7 folks on here. Hang around after we finish recording and I will give, and everyone here gets an advanced copy of our anti-aging superfoods bundle. So again, hang around, because when we stop recording, we're going to drop the link there. Joan says, yay, and Audrey says, wow, wow, wow. I love it. You're more than welcome. It's the least I can do. So one thing that's been so important to me throughout this whole journey is building the community. And Carol knows this better than anyone, because when I first started these power hours, I was, oh gosh, what was it, 2018, I think it was. And I had actually started them, and then the week before they were supposed to start, I fell and I was in the hospital, and I was on like, I had like a really bad break, and they kept me in the hospital, and I was doped up on drugs. Like, nothing illegal, but still, I was pretty well doped up the first session. So anyway, then after that was the first session that I ran totally on my own, and Carol was there, and it was just the 2 of us that first time. You remember that? It was just us. And she was so sweet. She stuck with me for the whole hour. She listened to what I had to say, and then she came back. And her doing that really taught me that value of building a community and having a place where I can connect with you and you can connect with me, and we can kind of get to know each other on a different in a different way. You know, like Greg, for instance, he does all that stuff with hypnotherapy, which is really freaking cool. Um, and and you know, when he got his mention in Oprah magazine, that was, you know, a win for him, and it was so hard for me to keep that quiet for all that time, but I did, but it was, but I mean, it was, you know, that's part of having a community, though, is, you know, you kind of roll with the businesses together and you go through those highs and lows together, and it's amazing and it's wonderful. Charlene, I always joke that she's she's like a better moderator of the group than I am. She handles things before I even know they need to be handled. And I can never, like, I'm always thanking her for that because, you know, I am a mom and I do juggle some things. And so, especially when school's in session, it's really nice to come back and see that something's already been dealt with. So she's, you know, she's amazing. Audrey says, and you all have been amazing support to me with my cookbooks. Oh, Audrey, you're more than welcome. She says, thank you, thank you. You're more than welcome. You do have one that's coming out, I believe, soon. So please give me the link for that when that's ready, because I definitely want to put that in our emails too. But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do here. And I am really that's not going to leave, you know. I don't know how it's going to look, but I know it's not going to leave. So, so does anybody have any questions before we do another gift drop? Anything that you want to know about? Anything that, you know, is kind of bothering you? Anything that maybe you feel a little bit apprehensive about? Please let me know. Audrey says she's working on a spice mix one. Ooh, nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, looks like everybody's good. So a couple of things I wanted to say as far as what do you do for if you have questions. Of course, come to me. I'm always available. You have my email, rachel@uspLR.com. You can reach me in the Facebook group. Many of you are also friends with me on Facebook. So if you're not friends with me now, please feel free to add me as a friend. Just an FYI, if we don't have any friends in common and you don't send me a message that says, hey, I'm not a pervert from, you know, the other side of the world who wants to have you give $1 million to a Nigerian prince. If you don't do that, then I'm just going to block you because, you know, it is the internet. So, but if we don't have any friends in common, just shoot me a message privately and say, hey, I'm in your group, and I'll be more than happy to add you. But anyway, so yeah, you have more than enough ways to get a hold of me if you need to. Also, I don't know if any of you know her, but Melody Wigdahl from PLRofthemonth.com or PLRofthemonth.club. She does an SEO and traffic call every Thursday, and we've talked, and she's given me access to the past calls as well as an invitation for my entire group for future calls. She's real good at what she does. She is very in-depth, and I have to say her trainings usually last like an hour, but a lot of times they run over just because everyone has so much to share, and they sometimes they walk away with homework. So for instance, the other week I did a guest blog post for someone else did a guest blog post for someone else, and that person did a guest blog post for someone else, and it kind of all connected, and it was all based around her SEO that she was teaching for that day. Joan says she was great last week. Well worth a listen. Thank you, Joan. You're absolutely right. She is she's very kind. She's very on top of it. So if you are looking for a place to go to kind of get that interactive engagement, please feel free to let me know and keep an eye on the emails because I've been putting that in there as well. And it will be in the show notes today. Which, by the way, why don't I just go ahead and make a note about that so I don't drive myself crazy. Oh, Greg. All right, so does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Does what I said make sense? Let me just throw it out there that way. Because one thing about these calls is I know that I just and I feel like there's a combination of, hey, I don't mind listening to Rachel talk, and oh my gosh, please shut up so I can get a word in. So please let me know. Is there anything you want to talk about while we're all here and we're all ears? Is there anything that you're concerned about moving forward, whether in your business or with the changes that we're making over in Use PLR, anything like that? Please feel free to put it in the chat and we'll address it. If it's a private matter, please feel free to chat me privately and we'll take care of it. All right. Next up, stay tuned after the power hour. Everyone who is live is going to get a free copy of our Use PLR for Passive Income, which is a personal use only product, but it is another product that has not been officially released, and it's due to be released, I don't even know when, but soon. So it's another pre-release, and it's for you guys. And that link as well is going to go into the chat at the end of the call. So Joan says, Yippee, thank you. Greg says, ouch, we don't want you to shut up. That's the whole point of being here. Yeah, that's true. I think it's just because I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I chat about so much stuff. But Audrey says, I agree, Greg. I just soak up your knowledge. Oh, I would send you a virtual hug. Greg says it's all value. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are really good self-esteem boosters too, I must admit. Charlene, the group that you run, the PLR group, could you drop the link of that in the comments? Because I also think that might be valuable for some of our guests, whether they're PLR sellers or, yeah, or feel free to jump in and chat if you don't think that it's a good fit. I mean, you're more than welcome to. I do want to let everyone know that we are going to be changing the scope of our releases. So instead of our releases for the whole food PLR side, we're going to start doing some Use PLR trainings. And we're going to do those with PLR rights, and we're going to attempt to do those with videos as well. I don't know for sure that every package would have a video, but right now I'm looking at structuring it the same way that our healthy eating packages are structured, so that you have a report, articles from the report, a workbook, images, or an opt-in page, basically everything you need to teach your audience about some aspect of PLR. And the cool thing about it is that it's also, it can also be a teaching tool, especially if we're able to do videos with every release, or the releases that we are able to do videos with. It's a great teaching tool. And if you can profit from it at some point, then you can, nothing wrong with that. Okay, great, Charlene. Thank you very much. So Charlene has a group that's going to go in the show notes, and it is for PLR creators. And I think that it's very important. I think it's very important because I can't even tell you how many times we get PLR creators in our group who want to branch out and connect with other PLR creators and have those talks and that kind of thing. Plus, Charlene is just so darn knowledgeable. Everyone who's here knows that. So thank you very much, Charlene. Greg says, does anyone know about the giveaways to get involved with? Yes. And that's another thing that Melody talks about too, which I really like. What is his name? I'll find his name and I'll put it in the show notes, but I believe it's something like Daniel Fiori, something like that, Fiori. I never really thought much of his giveaways. I mean, I had participated in them when he first started doing them, and I got some subscribers, but I didn't really think much of it. But apparently at some point he's gone into a structure where you pay like $40 and then you get put it like above everybody else. Normally I wouldn't go for that personally, but after hearing what Melody had to say about it the other week, she said that it's actually gained her a lot of subscribers, and it's been well worth the $40. So from that perspective, that's probably a good way to go. But again, I will find the definite information because I know that he's one that just keeps doing them. And that will be in the show notes. But yeah, giveaways are so great. And that's for those listening to the replay. If you're new to all of this, I know we have some folks in the group who are new to all of this, and taking part in things like giveaways, they have their purpose. I know that as business owners, we're very concerned with our profit and our path to profit and our fastest way to profit. And all of that is so important. But those giveaways are also important, or just getting your word out there is also very important. And even if you do a giveaway and let's say you get 150 new subscribers and only 10 of them stay, let's say, that's a very number. But either way, if that's 10 people who will come to your webinars, who will buy your stuff, who will be repeat buyers, then that's more than worth it because you're building your community. And you are going to get those freebie seekers, but you're still going to get those people who are like, oh, hey, I really like what you're doing and I'm going to stick around. So let's see. Audrey says, group giveaways are great if you stay within your niche. Amen. Amen. Yes. So does anybody else have anything? It's 1:30 now. Let's see. Da-da. Looks like we're good. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about their business? Oh, Joan says real quick that the one that Melody was mentioning last week was a good one for low content. Yeah. What do you remember the name of that, Joan? Or Audrey? I know you go to them too. Does anybody? I know that like she was talking about it, and a couple of the other participants were talking about it, but I can't remember. Thanks, Joan. I appreciate that, my friend. But yeah, we also have other people in our group who are part of her chats as well. So it's not like you're going to be going into that environment like the new kid in school kind of situation. Fran Watson is in there. Audrey, Joan, they're both in there. Christine, who helped us with getting started with Facebook ads, she's in there. They're all regular contributors. Ruth Bowers is in there. So a lot of people that we know are there. It's always funny, like when you jump into a situation where you don't know anybody. It's a little bit like, like I kind of get sometimes I personally get the sensation of being like that kid walking into the lunchroom with your little tray. You're kind of like, where do I sit? Who do I talk to? Thank you very much, Joan. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the notes as well. The giveaway that Joan mentioned. Greg says thank you. Okay, so let's see what else we have going on here. For those of you who are listening to the replay, we have a couple of things coming up. We have our anti-aging superfoods bundle coming out on Friday. And we have our use PLR to make money blogging intense training, in-depth training. Intense sounds a little scary. In-depth training coming out in the next couple of weeks. And use PLR for passive income will just come out, whenever, just after those two sometime. So that's what's coming up for us. Please drop in the chat box what you guys are up to, as well as your website links if you would like them to go in the show notes, because I would love to add them there. And of course, those will go into our YouTube page, our Facebook units with this Power Hour, and I will be listing them all in my emails for the next couple of days, starting like Thursday, maybe Friday if I'm feeling very lazy, but usually Thursdays. Great. Charlene, please update us on that Fiverr experiment. I cannot wait.
Okay. So for those who don't know, at the end of October 2019, right? It's what, 7, 8, 9 months ago. Um, Experiment. Let me put up a profile on Fiverr to offer writing emails, just the copy, follow-up emails to a lead magnet. That was it. That's all I offered, and it's it's a set sequence that I've always used and others should use, and so I didn't know. So that was experiment part one. Was just, is anybody going to buy this as a service? Experiment two of that, or part two of the experiment, was to put my profile up as a man, so that I could avoid nonsense that happens with foreign men who think that if there's a female headshot, you are up for grabs and ready to marry, if you're not already. Because if you're not already, something's wrong with you if you say no. I know this, I have that experience, I've been around too long, been around the internet since 95, I get it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna put up a generic, not a pro shot, not a stock photo. You can't find that image anywhere online. So I put up this, I thought he's a handsome fella. So I call him Charlie, because that used to be my nickname, so I'm not lying when I'm chatting with customers. But anyway, so I thought, all right, so there's the experiment. Let's put up if I have a profile for a single service, will it sell? And number two was, what's it going to be like if I can be viewed as a man? It is now nearing the end of June, and I can tell you right now, just on a part-time basis, I have doubled, tripled, quadrupled my prices. I continue to change my prices. Most of the orders I get through Fiverr are custom orders, which are, again, usually double the price that is on what's shown on the gig, usually, if not more. I mean, right now I've got an order that I'm working on that's like 6 times more the price of what's on the gig. And I'm doing it at my own pace, and it's still the same service. What is it? It is writing emails to follow up with your download. That's the core of the service. I do other things as well in email. So having said that, I can tell you that right now, as of June 23rd, 2020, I have doubled my revenue from my business from 2019 with a part-time Fiverr gig.
Isn't that awesome, everyone? Can you even believe it?
One of the experiment is a huge success. I mean, it's huge, because I've been in business since 2008. I've been doing a lot of things. Okay. So that's part one. Part two, I got to tell you, it's a heck of a lot of fun being a man. I don't get any nonsense. I just don't, because it's funny. I'll get an attempt at nonsense, and I just shut it down. And I don't get the response that a woman gets, which is, what are you being so mean to me for? Why do you have to be a bit? Why do you have to be a C, right? All the name calling, you women know what it is. The minute we get firm, we're a witch, we're a B, we're a C, we see it all the time. Don't get any of that. I get, yo, man, didn't mean it. Move on. Yeah. So, all right. I said, yes, this is great. This is awesome. Here's number 3, which is not part of the experiment. It truly is a surprise. Absolute, okay. Sure, why not? I was approached by Fiverr, their editors, to be a part of an exclusive group in Fiverr for Fiverr Business. And what that means is that if you, as a business owner, want to sign up for Fiverr Business, you have all the tools that a business can use to manage freelancers and projects and what have you at no extra cost. In addition, you now have a directory of hand-selected freelancers that you can count on were vetted, were considered to be, the high level freelancers within Fiverr. You don't have to go searching all over the place and trying and wondering if they're going to do what they say they're going to do, if they have a level of professionalism, if they're really people, all the stuff that comes with, I don't know who the heck you are, but you look good, and maybe, you don't have any of that. So when I first got the initial invitation, I thought, I don't know, is this for real? How do you guys vet? How do you know I'm as good as you think I am? So I did my research and I found out that, and then I went ahead and I was a customer of Fiverr. And after you've purchased something and completed the transaction within a day or two, you get a request. Could you tell us how that freelancer did? And be honest. And what happens to a lot of freelancers who look good up front but can't seem to get orders is it's the back end. The back end, they're getting dinged because they don't communicate. They don't respond. They give lousy service. The product was, kind of sort of met expectations. And from what I can gather, I've gotten not only all these raving reviews, of which about half of them are actually on Fiverr themselves. Half the people don't review. I'm also getting it on the backside. And so that's what Fiverr looks for, right? They look at the computer algorithms first, and then as people rise up in front of them, they manually go through and start looking at chat sequences, at messaging, at delivery times, at all the reviews, and they do verification. So yeah, I was invited to be a part of the exclusive group, and I thought, sure, I'll create a gig for that. That's even more. I'll charge more. That's not a problem. So that's the update on my Fiverr experiment. I'm willing to do it because I can still say no to projects. I can still do the work I like to do. And when I don't want to do it, I just, explain to the person, if they've contacted me ahead of time, that this really isn't fit. I'm not a good fit for you. I can recommend somebody else. I am who I am. This is what I do. If I can be of service, I will. So it's good.
That's so cool.
There's my Fiverr update. And then of course I haven't got my regular business that's going on, but I thought you'd get a kick out of the Fiverr.
I always get a kick out of the Fiverr experiment because, and those of you who've been here since she started it know that at the beginning, I was like, what are you doing? Are you really? Because I'm one of the people who pays like much more than everybody else. But I have to tell you, I did it more than once because she is really good. And in the sense of that, one thing that Charlene talked to us about the other week was how she uses templates in her outsourcing business. And I think it's just super smart the way that you've been doing that. Because as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of templates because I like to do things the lazy girl way. I don't like putting any extra effort into things. But of course, my products need to look like I put extra effort into things. So, it's brilliant what she's doing, what you're doing, my friend.
Yeah, I can answer any questions if anybody has any questions.
Greg says he didn't think that you could charge more than $5 on Fiverr.
So the history of Fiverr is that in 2009, in response to the recession, an investment group got together and started this online marketplace as a way for internationally, we're going to start it out at $5. What can you charge somebody for $5? What's somebody willing to pay for $5? And that's how it got its name. It was short, it was simple, it was quick. It was also an experiment on their part. But they also wanted to create a marketplace for people to, hold up a sign that says your name in front of, whatever. From there, it has grown to the point where by 2015, they did, I did my research before I even got on there. But about 2015, they started as a company, started encouraging quality service providers to increase their prices and encouraging it on the back end in a forum and actually talking with the providers and saying, you're not limited to $5. You're not limited to, we're going to start rewarding you for better service, better products, better opportunities, all that stuff. So that by today, what they're actually have done is I can create up to 10 gigs because I've been there long enough. I get rewards on the back end. I get little badges and I get little encouragements. I'm a Fiverr choice. So that means that, a little sign comes up that says, for whatever search you're doing, an email copy, you'll see my profile there and this little thing that comes up as Fiverr choice as a way to encourage you as the buyer to feel better about hiring me. When I have to make more money on Fiverr, every gig comes with an opportunity for 3-tier pricing. And the 3-tier means that I now start out with 3 emails at one price, then a 5-email sequence at another, and then 7 emails at another. And I also am able to open it up to tell you, the buyer, that I'm available for custom orders. And the custom orders, I can charge whatever I want, and I can create a custom offer on my side, so it's just between me and you. It's not out in the open. The review is attached to whatever started the chat between us, but I can set up whatever order I want if you want to accept the offer I send you. So it's a little proposal system. Fiverr is wanting to become the place for quality freelancers. And that's why they started Fiverr Business, because they recognize that it's still a hit or miss. You still got people doing $5 work and charging too much for $5 work. And sometimes $5 work, they're charging too much. So this is a way for them to elevate, right? Elevate a section. So I hope that helps.
Joan has a question too. She said, what happened to the experiment with the other site you were trying out? Are there any updates there?
Legit. I'm looking for Joan to shake her head. Yeah.
Joan has a good memory because I completely forgot about Legit until she said something.
April 22nd of this year, I created a profile with my face on it this time, on Legit, which is Legit. And it is a freelancer marketplace that was created by 2 freelancers. And huge difference between the community at Legit and Fiverr. Legit has a Facebook group for buyers and sellers. And when you engage in the Facebook group, that's where I get new buyers. I think if I really wanted it to, Legit could be as good as, if not better than Fiverr. I'm not putting any effort into it, just as I'm not putting any effort into Fiverr. It's all their marketing. I don't market it. I don't do, I'm just, I'm like, oh, great. Really? You want, sure, I'll do that. Okay. And Legit does the same thing. Chris Walker is the creator of Legit, he and Jim. They run advertising. They run traffic to Legit. If you want to be a freelancer or you want to do your own experiment, I would recommend either one. You're going to start out very, very slow anyway. The difference between the two is that Legit takes 15% and pays you a little faster. And you actually have an unlimited amount of space and available to you on your services page. Fiverr takes 20% and charges the buyer a 5% fee. Legit doesn't charge the buyer. And you have to wait 2 weeks before you get paid from Fiverr, and you're limited to 2,000 characters in a description of your services for each gig. And there's really no community at Fiverr. There is community at Legit.
Wow.
So I'm there, but I'm doing just like I've got plenty of orders there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got new customers over at Legit. It's just that I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting for the orders to come, and there they are. So I'm not doing anything to get them
Greg
because I'm busy
says,
with my other business. I'm busy with my business, you know.
amen to that. Greg says, I love it. This is so cool. And Joan says, great comparison, Charlie.
Thank you.
That is really cool. And you know, it's to me, it's almost like Fiverr is so well known that that's kind of where we just go. It's just
Yeah.
we were talking about marketing the other week on our Power Hour, and it's kind of like that. Here's this service that seems so much better for both the buyers and the sellers. Just the fact of having a
So
Facebook
here's
group.
the thing. So because I'm myself, I'm Legit. I can't tell my regulars on Fiverr to come over to Legit.
Yeah.
It's also against terms of service, but there's ways to do it, right? But I can't because they're going to come over and they say, well, who are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think you're a guy.
And they treat me like a guy, which is awesome because it's straight, it's to the point. There's no nonsense. Nobody cares how you think, feel, or believe. They just want the job done. Let's go. You know, the minute the female comes up is, well, now, if you could give me a break on this price, or this is my sob story, or, you're a B because you're not paying attention to me. I'm all kinds of drama. No, it's awesome.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like having a Facebook group really keeps people accountable. It kind of stops those keyboard warriors a little bit because that's a group where everybody can easily see what crap you're pulling. So, and the whole thing with men and women, I said earlier, I'm really thankful that we have folks like Greg here who, always treats everybody the same, always treats everybody with respect. And I'm so thankful that we have a group that I feel like we don't do any of that, and it's just like also like with the women, if we have any Karens, that has to be nipped. But men and women in general are just so funny. I dealt with someone I know who's kind of been experiencing this online recently, the difference between men and women, because women, even like just like when we were girls, we tend to take everything so darn personally.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to take something and like carry it to the extremes. And like men, they tend to like duke it out and to be done. Like it never happened. Like women will hold a grudge until the end of time.
Here's one thing that I've noticed, and this is being a woman playing a man, is that I stand up for myself, right? And the response is a respect. When I do it as a woman, the response is, oh no, there's no reason for you to be that mean. Why are you? Oh, I know, Greg. It's from the man's side. I can see how you would have no knowledge or there's no way. Honestly, for men, I can easily see how you can't even see that, and because it's a perspective thing, and it's a also how we respond, right? So I respond to it by saying, I'm really sorry you see that way, and I just move on. Another woman would respond as, oh, but that's not really what I meant. Take it to the nth degree, right, Rachel?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a human experiment as well. It's fascinating to me as a researcher, I got to tell you.
It is so funny.
Freeing for me to be Charlie. It's just pretty darn awesome, actually.
And I mean, and like for those listening to the replay who maybe don't join us so much, this isn't like a we hate men or any kind of bashing thing. It is just funny to kind of watch how it all plays out, because like I said, like my husband, he's very outspoken, and he and another guy, they'll tend to like over. Yeah. They don't fist fight, but I mean, they'll tend to like say their piece and then it's done. But I have females in my life, where if they say the same thing or they say something else, then other females tend to, like sharks. Like it's almost like when you're in school, and you've got those like mean girls. You know, it's almost the same thing. Like females tend to be the ones to just take it way too far. So it's just really funny, the difference between the two. Um, Greg says, sorry, had to take a call. Those experiences Chuck described are shocking to me. I know, right? I thought we lived in a place where everything was equal.
Mm.
Anyway, so okay, so it's 1:51. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Does anybody have anything they want to say or speak on, or does anybody want to drop their links to their businesses in the comments? Please do that now. And then for those here live, just as a reminder, when we stop recording, please stick around so you can get everything. Joan said something I just discovered for Amazon associates in my email, the Idea Hub. Hey, that's pretty cool. You can toggle to different categories, sort by newest. It'll show you the latest special deals or project suggestions. That's pretty neat. So if you're trying to monetize a blog or an email, you don't have to hunt on top money makers. Hunt for top money makers. Very cool. Thank you very much, Joan. You know, it's interesting that you say that, because one thing that I've been talking about recently is using Amazon, and how it is really a great place to get ideas, whether it's for, you know, what do I create a PLR topic on that's popular, or what should I create a journal on? It just has so many ideas. So I love that. Thank you very much. Charlene, thank you for those website links. I will be sure to get both of those up into the replay notes. You can find Charlene at growplr.com and searchbyburke.com. Just as a reminder, you can find Shannon at Appetite for Design. And these are people that I work with. So for those who are newer to the group, you don't get like recommendations from me just because I like somebody. You typically only get recommendations if it's somebody that I actually worked with, or in very, very, very rare cases, they've worked with somebody that I have worked with, you know. But usually it's someone that I've worked with, and I've worked with both of these ladies, so I can vouch for them both. Greg says, huge thank you to you, Rachel, for everything. Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I enjoy doing all of this so much. I know we touched on it before, but it is a lot, like the preparation beforehand. I always want to make sure the notes are good, and you know, I think I just put too much. I think I just need to put my creativity elsewhere, but I am still going to be doing stuff like this, just not in a box. Carol says, thanks, Rachel, for all you do. Much appreciation. Carol, you've got I have such a soft spot for you. Shannon says she has an affiliate program, so if you stop by, be sure to let her know that you found her on my recommendation. Thank you very much, Shannon. And I will be putting your affiliate, thank you for reminding me, I'll put your affiliate link, my affiliate link, in the notes. Joan says, Melody is going to be doing a Pinterest training soon for those who are not on yet. So that's really great. Thank you for that information, Joan. Melody is just such good people. I can't even. She's such a sweetheart. So yeah, I will give everyone a heads up on that on the notes as well. Thank you, Joan. All right, so this is Rachel Youngson from useplr.com and wholefoodplr.com. Live folks, stay with me for just another minute. Everyone else, thank you for joining us. We will see you in the group. Tag me if you have any questions. Shoot me an email directly, rachel@useplr.com. I am always here for whatever you need to help you grow your business. So please don't think of this as something ending. Please think of this as just something being reshaped. And it's my desire to keep this community growing, and I'm not going to stop building this community. So don't worry about that. I'm still reachable. All right. So take care, everyone.